The size of the skateboard that you guys choose is all the same, but I recommend you choose one that's more of a standard size. And if you're going to use the board, choose a measurement that's good for you. Personally, I'm going to work on a board of 20.6 centimeters wide by 80 centimeters long, or 8 inches by 31.5. Once you have the measurements you want to use, we can go on to Illustrator to prepare our artboard. We're going to select Create New Document, and then we're going to choose the Print option. We're going to put in the measurements we've chosen for our board, always keeping in mind that if we select inches, our measurements are going to be in inches, and if we select centimeters, our measurements will be in centimeters. In my case, I'm going to be working on the centimeter option, so I'm going to put in 20.6 by 80. I'm going to give it a bleed of 1 centimeter. This doesn't mean that we're obliged to fill all the way up to the bleed, but if our design had a line that went through the entire board, we should take it all the way to the bleed. However, if our design doesn't go all the way to the end, we can forget about it. Then we have our workspace ready with our artboard. But wait, skateboards aren't square. So we have to draw that curve that we have in the tail and in the nose. So that would be on the top and on the bottom of the board. So to do this, we're going to draw a rectangle that's going to take up the entire artboard. It doesn't matter the color, we just want to fill in the workspace without the bleed. When we have that, we're going to select the direct selection tool that has the keyboard shortcut A. We're going to select all the vertices, and we're going to drag from the point that we get to round off the 4 vertices at the same time. And there we have the board shape. With the selection tool, we're going to select it, and we're going to go to View, Guides, and then Create Guides. We're going to repeat that with a rectangle that goes around the bleed line. Now, we're going to make another rectangle that's going to be 2 centimeters smaller than our artboard. So, if mine's 20.6 by 80, the rectangle is going to be 18.6 by 78. We're going to repeat that option, and we're going to round off the vertices. Then, we're going to change this line into a guide. There we have our 3 guides. One on the bleed line, one in the size of the board, and the smallest one is where the main design of our board is going to go. It works like the bleed, but on the inside. On this layer, I'm going to call it Guides, and we can block it. We're going to make a new layer that we're going to call Background, and this one we should paste the photo behind our board without the design. I found mine in the same place I'm going to print it from. But if you're not going to print it, look for one on the internet, and you'll be able to find a similar image very easily. It doesn't matter if it's a little small or if it's pixelated. We're only going to use this image as a reference to see how our designs are going to look on wood. As you can see, I've got 2 images that are very similar. So we have one with wheels and one without. And this is going to be much better, because both are going to be useful. The one without wheels, we're going to center this one, and we're going to create a layer with it. We're going to call it Skateboard Background. I'm going to put this layer on top of the guide layer, and we're going to block it. So we're going to keep working on the unblocked layer, where we have the board without wheels. The next thing we're going to do is crop out the wheels with a crop mask. To do this, we're going to place the board in the middle of our work table, and we're going to copy it. Using the pen tool, we're going to make a line without any fill around the wheels and the axis. We don't need this to be 100% precise, but I don't like doing things half measures anyway, so I'm going to take my time. He was a skater boy. She said, see you later, boy. He wasn't good enough for her. When we're done with this, with the selection tool, we're going to select the shape we've just made and the board. It's really important we make sure the line is on top of the board. When we go to Object, Clipping Mask, and Make. To do the same with the bottom wheels and axis, we're going to go to the same place on the bottom. Remember that we still have the board copied if we need it. The shortcut for this option is Ctrl B. We're going to repeat the same operation on the bottom part of the board. When you're done, we're going to call this layer Wheels, and we're going to place it above the skateboard background, and we're going to block it as well. Now, we're going to create another layer called Sketch, and we're going to place it on top of the skateboard. We're going to create a layer on top called Fill, and then on top of Fill, one that's called Shadow, and on top of Shadow, one that's called Stroke. I like to have my files and my artboards in Illustrator properly organized, because then, if I have to find something, I can do that quite easily. There we have our artboard ready, so let's move on to the next step. See you guys in the next lesson. Bye!